So we are going to take you for a lap of the famous Goodwood Circuit, a historic venue where Greenpower was first started back in 1999, and we are going into Manwe Corner, the first corner of this brilliant track. Normally it is a packed grid, the biggest grid you will see on the Greenpower calendar, and the apex is just here, nicely pointed out by the black and yellow sign. A double apex around Manwe, back out into the middle, and again for the right-hander. So this video is kind of here to help you learn your racing line and try and improve those very important lap times to try and raise yourselves up onto the timetable. We are now heading into Ford Water, a very nice wide right-hander. And like I said, a very busy circuit. Normally 80 cars are on the track at the same time, all fighting for position. So the first lap is one of the most important. As you can see, the apex on the right hand side here, just clip it quite smoothly and then back out into the middle using all of this lovely downhill section. In a normal car you wouldn't feel any of these hills, but in a Greenpower car the speed starts to drop off as you head up into this hill. Again, there's a braking sign on the left hand side just to warn you that the corner's coming up, but it is wide enough that you don't need to unless you're going up to 40 miles an hour, which is kind of what the Richard Lander cars managed to achieve. A nice apex here. Make sure you do not clip those curbs, they are dangerous to the cars. They're quite high with the low ground clearance that we have. And here we are in St Mary's, one of the brilliant corners, my favourite on this whole track, as it opens up into this downhill section where you pick up a lot of speed. St Mary's Hill, as the marshals like to call it, this is where most cars break down and need recovery, so if you can get past that section you are looking good into the second half of this track. We are now in Untitled Corner, quite a tight right-hander. I may have entered that a bit too early, but you have lots of runoff here to go nice and wide. And now we open up into Labham Straight. As you can see, a very, very nice long straight, brilliant spectating along the right-hand side here. You want to slowly move to the middle of the track, and the whole point with racing, the whole thing about Greenpower is efficiency. You want to keep that steering wheel as straight as possible at all times so that you are scrubbing off as little speed as possible. Nice little kink on the left hand side, just clip that beautifully, and then as you can see, a dead straight line. We are quite high up in the Ford Transit van, when actually in a Greenpower car you're only roughly 300 millimeters off the ground, so your driver line is a lot lower down. Some of these corners have a blind entry and you do not know where you're going until you have reached the corner. We are now heading into Woodcote, probably the fastest corner on the Greenpower calendar. It's a double apex, it's quite tricky, so you want to stay on the middle here, and then as you can see on the right hand side is the apex as we swoop around to try and clip it. This is where you'd have the most speed. Be careful of the left hand side, it is a raised curb. The pit entry is on the right hand side of the chicane, but we are going to ignore that and carry straight on past the wall and then back into the Goodwood Straight where all of your team members will be cheering to support you. That is a lap of the Goodwood track for the Greenpower calendar.